Hi, I'm Tatiana, 1/4 of Please Leave by 9, your guys' favorite nonsense party podcast. And I am personally here to welcome you guys to the new season. It's been a long time coming, and we're really excited for you guys to listen to all these episodes coming down the pipeline and to share with you guys some new news. First being that we have recently been represented by a podcast talent agency called Big Pond Podcasts. Shout out to them, lots of love. That's why you'll see definitely more ads sprinkled in to our shows and existing catalog. And the second being exciting also that we've been selected for the Podcast People's Choice Awards. So what that means is we need your help to be nominated into the final rounds for Best Female Hosted Podcast and People's Choice. You could go to podcastawards.com. Don't worry, link is in the show notes, and nominate us for those two categories. That would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you guys for listening, for getting us to where we are currently. And honestly, there's so many other projects in the works. We are really excited. Me, the girls, Daniel, we're all very happy that you guys enjoyed the show. You laugh along with us because we enjoy making it. Vote for the podcast awards. Get us in there. Rate on Spotify and Apple. If you have a second, tell a friend, but we'll always be here for you. And also, you can go to pleaseleaveby9.com. All right, we'll catch you later. Bye.
I hope you all heard that.
Yeah.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Me.
Hey! Welcome to the party.
We only have one rule here.
Please leave by 9.
Welcome to another nonsense party at Please Leave by 9. I'm 1/4 of your host, Tatiana. And today we have a super fun, super exciting, probably like 3 years in the making party because our guest was so aloof, yet we lived in the same house together. And yet we never had him on the show. But we were like, this is your time to shine. No matter what Cheryl tells you, it is your time. This is your episode.
I didn't say anything.
It's what you didn't say.
Yeah. So our guest today is our friend Ben. And he has Dude La Paz with him, his cat. That's a cat's name. It's a fully normal name for a cat. And then today we're talking about video games. So what I would love if we're going to go around the virtual room and you're going to tell me, everyone, Ben, you're going to be the last one. You're going to go around and tell me what your relationship with video games is, and you can tell me the last game you played, the first game you ever played, if you're addicted to, I don't know, Pac-Man or Tetris and that. And I see some double screens here. We also have some special guests. We have Colin, which we all know because he has a lot of fun facts, and now he's married to Cheryl.
Woo!
And then we have David joining us, which we've talked about David, I'm sure, on the podcast before. But he's Anna's wonderful boyfriend who also knows what games are. Oh, and then we have Tem, which is Sarah's wonderful boyfriend, and he's fully formed. He just woke up, ladies and gentlemen, and he looks like that. It's amazing. I don't know how he does it. What is your secrets? So you guys, we're all gonna go around the room and we're gonna talk about it. I'll go first, and then how about Cheryl, Colin, you'll go second, and then you can sort it out from there. My name's Tatiana, and I actually play many video games, which is, I think, surprising for most people. It all started with Homer Simpson's Hit and Run on the PS2, which is one of my favorites.
What a classic game.
Thank you.
Wow.
All right. Now, Cheryl, go ahead.
I'm Cheryl, and I'm got Colin here. And fun fact, Ben was the best man at our wedding. He was the best man that we could find. So that was exciting. My first video game was like Tetris because my brother was like, here, just play this. And then like you blew on the thing and then played it. And I don't play a lot of video games. I think my longest run is Animal Crossing. So that's where I am.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Colin?
I
grew up playing video games like early as I can remember. I had a Super Nintendo, so I was playing like Super Mario 3 and like all the like old school Ninja Turtles and Batman games were all very fun. But I've never stopped. So a large array of video game knowledge.
Perfect.
I said I'm voting Anna goes next because you voted
I was hoping you said that. I want Anna to go next too.
Okay, so I played video games with my brother on the PlayStation, like Pac-Man and whatnot. But I really stuck with the I don't know if I used to think I dreamt it like a couple years ago. I thought I dreamt this, but it's the My Dream Closet or something. Does anyone know? Is that like a real thing?
Are you talking about Nintendo DS?
Maybe.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, I played it on the TV with a little. It had like a little like.
What? Yes.
What is
Oh
it
my
called?
God.
I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find it.
Okay, I will during the intros, Anna. I will look it up for you. So during one of our next segments, we're gonna talk about that because that's you just touched on something. Thank you.
Fashion. But yeah, that was my favorite game. I played all the time. Go ahead,
It's
David.
me? All right. Well, I mean, I've been playing video games for a long time. I'm kind of like Colin. Super Nintendo was the first console I ever touched. It wasn't really like the Super Marios. It was more like Earthworm Jim, for those of you who may remember.
Nice.
Jim.
You made that up.
No, that's a
That's
game.
not a real game.
That is a game.
That is a classic.
That is a classic. Colin understands. Yeah, Super Metroid, Earthworm Jim, those were like
Metroid.
my games.
Oh yeah.
Metroid might be a more familiar name, but yeah, no, I started with Super Nintendo and then N64 and all the way up to the new consoles. So I've had my hand in everything. I've seen the history of gaming.
Sarah?
I'm not well versed in video games. I grew up, my brother forced me to play. We played like N64 Street Fighter, I think is where we started. And I just hit buttons. And then we played like Ratchet and Clank. And then I thought it was very unfair that I had to play video games and he wouldn't try to play what I wanted to play. So I purposely never learned because it's no fun if you're playing with people who are bad. So I've kept on to that and I've never learned how to play video games. So
Really good.
You've assembled a diverse panel of like various opinions, Tatiana. I just want to point that out.
Thank you. I tried.
Got your angles covered.
Tim too.
Is Tim just gonna sit there, or can he say something?
No, I think similar to David and Colin, I grew up playing video games. I think my first like official console was the Game Boy SP, like the flip one.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But then my first like real big console was the PS2, and my first couple games that I was really into was Gran Turismo 3, the racing game, and Jack and Daxter. If you guys have ever played that series, I got really into that. But yeah, I grew up. I got like the PS3, and now I play PC. I still play pretty regularly. My friends are all pretty into gaming, so it's still a pretty big part of my life.
You touched on a good point. PC versus console. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, you have to.
There's a right answer.
All right, Ben.
All the boys today.
All right. Well, sticking with like the gender lines that have been drawn so far, I also grew up playing video games and remain an avid gamer to this day. My first console I was 8 years old for my birthday. I got a Hot Rod Red Game Boy Advance SP, just like Tim did. Came with The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. And I still think about that game. It's an excellent game, and I think it's a really good first video game. The classic Nintendo Legend of Zelda adventure. It stuck with me the whole time. 2013, I made the switch from consoles to PC, and I've never looked back. Let's see. I was playing Besiege this morning.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Cheryl here, 1/4 of your favorite podcast host from Please Leave by 9, and I am so excited that it is finally summer, and we all know what that means. Festival season, music festivals, pirate festivals, you name it. Time to pack those perfectly planned outfits and head to the desert for long nights of dancing or swashbuckling. No matter where we run off to, my friends and I have one major rule in life: hydrate or dihydrate. And that's why I take Liquid IV with me on all my sunny adventures. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone and has 3 times the electrolytes of a traditional sports drink. Plus, those little packets fit so nicely in my dinosaur fanny pack. They have 12 amazing and delicious flavors to choose from. I love to stay on theme, so pina colada and watermelon are my summer go-tos. Whether you're rocking out to this year's headliners or recovering from pirate-themed bar hopping, Liquid IV's got you covered. You can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code PLB9 at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop for better hydration today using promo code PLB9 at liquidiv.com. Don't hydrate this summer.
Ben has been playing Besiege the entire time I've known him.
Yeah. And it's not a shooter. It's like a little physics sandbox builder. It's kind of like Legos, but on a computer, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You get to, it's like these little castles, and you get to create like siege weaponry to like bust the castles.
Oh, okay. I could see how that's fun for you, for sure. That makes total sense. That's funny.
Yeah, but
Oh
instead
my
of like
gosh.
building siege weaponry and stuff, you just build like fighter jets and tanks.
It's all very like Da Vinci-esque, I feel like.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's that kind of style. Like
Yeah.
the game is like in.
Now, what's the difference between that and like the Roblox and the Minecraft?
I've never played Roblox, so I can't speak to that.
Okay.
Minecraft
Roblox is more of a platform than it is like a game.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's true because I know
Yeah.
that they're like Roblox. You can build your games and stuff. Although I
Yeah, people make all kinds of games with using Roblox as their base layer. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it really, but
platform more than a game.
Yeah, a platform is
That makes sense. I wanted to change my background because we're going to first talk about nostalgia. So you guys all touched on like the very first game you guys played and stuff like that. And even Anna went so far as to do the My Dream Closet, which I'm still looking up, by the way. Apparently they've scrubbed it from the internet. They don't want you to know about it. This is a conspiracy. But one of my favorite things is when we all live together. So this is another thing to know is that when we all live together, Ben, you're the one with the N64, right? Was that
I
yours?
had the N64, but Austin had the Super Smash Bros. Video game, and together we combined our powers.
So all throughout living together, we were all like living together for like what, 4 years? Is
We went
that
through every single Super Smash Bros.
so?
in
I was gonna say,
chronological
so
order.
we played as a house. We played all the Super Smashes, and I went from not knowing anything and just played Pikachu on the first one with his party
Be
hat, and he
an
would just.
acceptable player.
And now I was trained, and I can actually do pretty well.
You
So
came further
because-
than Claire ever could, Tatiana.
Claire tried. Oh,
Claire's the only
Claire
person I've ever seen lose to a level 1 computer. I've never. She took notes.
She did take notes.
Wow.
Beautiful.
This is my favorite level on Super Smash. It's the Nintendogs level because I would play Nintendogs on the PC. And as you can see here, there's
Well,
a little
that's clearly
dog,
not
and there's
a
a dog in the corner. And then
There's not a
sometimes if
cat.
you play long enough, a cat shows up, and that's all I wanted. So when it was my turn to pick, all the boys would be like, "No, not Nintendogs," and then I would get to play Nintendogs.
Because the dog would like get in the way and you like couldn't see anything.
I know. He'd come up in front of the fucking screen while you're playing behind him. The cat just
That was how I
sat there
won.
and didn't move the whole time. Just loafed right behind, and that was it.
Oh my gosh.
I think we got
Yes.
that cat like 3 times total the entire time we played Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, we played for like 5 years, and we only
Wow.
saw the cat twice. Like it was
something like that.
It didn't make sense. It was aloof. But
I
yeah,
love
so because Super Smash has been around for so long, so it's like the older ones are now nostalgic, and so we even want to play those ones more than we want to play the new ones, or at least that is like a big consensus that the newer ones are like, it's fine. And then Cheryl brought up a genre of video game that I had totally, I'm not gonna say forgotten about, but it just not. And let me preface your thing, Cheryl, your segment with my mom was giving a tour of our house the other day to our house sitters, and she's like, and here's the green room, and this has this TV, and she goes and she looks at my PS5, so it's standing straight up, right? The PS5 is white and it stands straight up, and she points to this console and very confidently goes, and this is our Wii.
At least she didn't call it a Nintendo.
I know she couldn't call it Nintendo. She's like,
Love
and
it.
this is our Wii. And I was like,
So
Well, it
good.
is
Well,
white
what?
in her defense.
I mean, she's not wrong. Wii's did stand up and were white for a long time.
I was impressed she even like dug that far back and was like,
Yeah.
a Wii. She
That was
she didn't even.
And this is our Mega Jet.
And
This
this
is
is
our
why
Wii.
I love your mom.
Never mind,
She
she's
was
also
so
like 5
confident.
years
She was
ahead
like
of me.
really impressed by the Wii too. So yeah, so
Convinced
this
you're like
is
the same
our Wii. So Cheryl, please tell me about the Wii.
The Wii, what a fun like moment for families when that came out. It was like, why are you smiling?
I don't know. I like all the games.
No, the Wii is probably the closest that I ever got to being like a video game person. Like my family got the first Wii and we played, well, first like all Nintendo, we had like the Nintendo DS and stuff and we were playing like Mario Kart on Nintendo DS, and then the Wii came out and they were like, we can all play Mario Kart together like this.
You can all get in
we
fights
also-
together like this.
we can all get in fights together. That's so cool. And we played a lot of like Wii golf.
Nah.
Was like
Not
and like
Wii golf.
bowling.
Bowling, huge.
Wii bowling was like my family's like go-to every time, and those were so fun. And there's so many different Wii variations. I realized we have the like we have a Wii. Oh, we have the like the Switch, the Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
We play like
yeah.
Mario Kart on that, but we're like playing Mario Kart, and my sister has a superpower that I did not realize was a power until she like we're like playing games and they have like all the new racetracks and they have like a bunch of old ones now too. Like they just like keep, I mean they do that all the time, but my sister has this ability to remember which like console, like which Wii came out with which race,
No.
like at what time, constantly. Like she's just like, oh, this was on the DS, oh, this was on the like Wii, like the first one, this was on the Wii U. Like she knows like all of them.
She's
And
a
I would-
savant for Wii
Yeah.
for Wii Mario maps.
He knows all
And
Mario.
she also like played on like different, like the first ones. I don't know anything about like any of the consoles at all, but she like played on the first ones, and she's like, oh, this is from like the first Mario Kart, this is from this. And I was like,
Could you be like Leaf Cup? And then she would tell you the races in the Leaf Cup or whatever.
yes, she knows all of them. It's
Crazy.
wild. Like she'll be like, yeah, no, we played that on the DS, and I like cannot, my memory can't go between the DS and the first Wii. Like that's crazy. So I was like, I don't remember which one was which, and she was like, no, that was this one.
Very
That's-
obvious.
Yeah, did you I think the ultimate evolution of like the Mario Karts and what, you know, that whole game in general. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but now you can actually buy like from Amazon, they send you like basically these checkpoints, and you put them in your home, and your own home becomes the Mario Kart track. You get
So
to play as the characters
You like
driving
having
through your
absolute-
kitchen
That
or
sounds like
through
so
your
fun.
living room, and
What?
the
That's
cars
crazy.
have like, yeah, it's a whole thing. You literally like, if you see it on the TV screen, you're seeing it like you're driving under your like kitchen cabinets and like around the dog. Like it maps out your entire like space and turns it into a track.
Oh,
Bizarre.
It's
Whoa.
what console is? What
I think
It's
console
its
is
own
this?
thing.
I honestly, I feel like it's for the, I think it must be for the Switch. I feel like I have to look it up and see. It's like $200. It's not that bad.
Pretty
It
cool.
was like, it was kind of marketed as like a weight loss exercise thing, right? When it first came out, because you would
Yeah,
like
the
weigh
Wii.
yourself.
Oh yeah,
the
the
Wii
Wii
Fit?
tried to do
They
that.
play
They had
Wii
like the
Sports.
Wii board,
The Wii Fit board.
the
The whole
Wii
Wii
Fit board, and then they were like, oh, and you hold, like it's not like a sit down console. It's like you hold the remotes, and then you have to like actually like do the movements
Yeah.
to like play the games. Which
Oh my god.
Yeah.
crazy.
I think that's why my parents were so like into the Wii when it came, because like other video games, they like, oh yeah, we'll get them, but like they were
Same.
gung ho about Wii because they were like, oh, you can exercise. Like my children.
Yeah, parents were like, oh, okay, so they'll be interested, but they're also standing up when
Yeah.
they do it. Like
They have to move. Like
they
just
have to move. They can't just sit there the whole time.
Oh my
Guitar
god, that's so true.
Oh yeah, Guitar Hero.
Guitar. Oh, that's
Wait, can
right.
we talk about, but like the Guitar Hero on the DS, they had like the thing where you like attached it to the DS,
Oh my god.
and then it had like the buttons, and you're playing Guitar Hero just like on your DS with like an extension.
Yes.
Not like an actual.
Sarah's
guitar,
played it.
Sarah's familiar. You can tell. You can tell she spent
You
a lot
can
of
tell.
time.
Sarah probably had the high
Brought
score.
something back.
Definitely 5 stars. What was the other, not Guitar Hero, but the other
Garage Band.
Rock Band.
Rock Band.
Oh man, I
Rock
used to
Band,
mess
yeah,
up
and they
that
had the
drum.
drums and
The
the
drum
bass.
set sticks were
Oh my
broken.
God. My favorite thing is a lot of these like reality TV shows on Netflix right now, they have like the couples who meet in different worlds and then they come and go to each other's houses.
Yes.
And my favorite thing is when they have just like the Rock Band set up in the corner and the couple or like the partner is like, what is that? Can you put that away? And they're like, no, that's my Rock Band stuff. I can't put that away.
Yeah. Like they have to get.
That is collector's items.
It's like
Yeah.
those colored like drums.
Like they're getting married in like a short span of time, and then like it's like, okay, well the turn off was really Garage Band in the corner, and that's really what's gonna ruin the marriage. Like,
I mean, that's a great.
that was automatic. We can't.
That's a great dating technique because you can't have two guitar players dating each other. You need a
No,
drummer and a
that's
guitar
true.
player,
You need
or a
to have both.
bassist and a singer. You can't double, or else you
true.
can't play the damn game. So you got to figure that shit out real fast.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then, okay, do you guys remember after that, a little bit after the Wii craze, and we won't touch, unless you want to, touch on the fact that people were like literally dying to get Wiis. Like, do you remember when they like rolled the Wiis out? Only like your one friend had one, and so you would only hang out with them because you could play with their Wii.
My dad
I mean,
was
they
a
were fun too.
psychopath when like new one came out. My dad was like there on like Black Friday, like at
Doing the overnight
5,
camping.
like doing the camping, like to get the new Wii. It was like the first one in the Wii U. Like he was there, and I was like, "What are you doing, you crazy person?"
Camping is amazing. That's when you meet the best people. I've camped out for plenty of games. You meet some really cool guys. It's a great time. The camaraderie.
Anna's like, "Oh God."
And Anna, don't listen.
I've never known.
Close your ears. Let me tell you, when you're shivering outside of a Best Buy, you do whatever you can to get warm. Do what you need to do just to make it to the next morning.
Sounds like
That
you
makes
weren't
total
prepared
sense to me.
camp out.
I had a Wii experience like that. Like I called the Target near my house, and they're like, "We have one Wii," and I was like, "Mom!" So we like get in the car, and she's like speeding to get to the Target because I'm like, "We gotta go right now!" And then we get there, and some guy's fucking walking out with the Wii. I can't remember what they were, like $250 at the time.
Yeah.
Or something. So I'm like, I stop him, and like my mom's like, "All right, let's go." And I'm like, "Hey." He turns and he looks at me. I'm like, "I'll give you $300 for that Wii." He stops and he looks at me. He's like, "You got cash?" And I was like, "Yes." And then that's how I got my Wii.
That's beautiful.
I
No
love
way.
that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's
the craze was real. It was-
Yeah.
that is a beautiful story. I thought your mom was gonna fist fight him in the parking lot.
I was just gonna hit him with her car. If she hadn't slowed,
Yeah.
I think it could have
So
saved
my
$300.
son wants
Mom,
this
hit him.
Wii.
Don't hit the Wii. Just hit him.
Go for the legs, Mom. Go for the legs. Swiping. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, because then the dark side of it was like the radio station in our hometown had that infamous game, Hold Your Wii for a Wii, and then
Oh my
someone-
god.
I remember.
that was our hometown. Yeah, that was ours,
about
guys. That was
I don't remember that at all.
don't
What
remember
radio
that.
station was that on? Was that
They
on
actually
107?
legally had to change their call sign name and all their stuff. So now they used to be 107.9 The End, and now
I
their
knew
call
it.
sign is changed because
Yeah,
of this
it
whole
is.
legal debacle. But yeah, this woman died because it was literally, I mean, catchy name, but like, let's be real, you should not hold your pee in, no matter
No.
what Wii console you're winning.
Oh my god, I remember this.
I don't know anything about this.
Okay,
They had to like drink a gallon of water and then not go to the bathroom.
And they can't go to the bathroom. I remember this vividly because
So
I was,
yeah, so
wow.
Ben, it was a contest, and it was literally on like the 10 a.m. radio. Like
Yeah.
it was broadcast while you're like driving your kids to school and stuff.
Chug
had
water and
maybe
don't.
6. Yeah, so they had 6 people in studio, and they would say, okay, drink water. Like they gave them an amount, like 2 water bottles, and they're like, okay.
Died?
So then, so
Yeah,
here's
you
what happened.
can.
So they kept giving them water at intervals, and then being like checking in on them, like, okay, where's our weirs at? And some people would be like, oh, I'm out because I gotta go pee. So it would dwindle until like the last person standing would win the Wii, because hold your
She
Wii.
probably didn't die like on the radio.
No, I don't think she
No,
died.
she probably
mid contest.
like went like Seth.
She died after she
really
won
bad
the Wii.
infection.
Too long.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
fine.
won the Wii and then unfortunately
Bizarre.
went home and like
This is
her
bizarre.
her kidneys ruptured or like
Yeah, because kidney, like it can, bladder infections cause like kidney infections, and that's death.
I thought this was like the dramatic on-screen pee holding death for a Wii.
I don't think it was. No, it happened after, which is like just
it probably was a couple days later. She didn't realize.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but it made the news. Like it was big.
It was big news. It was huge because it was also centered around like the video game. Is the console really that serious and important?
Like I remember my parents bringing it up and like being like, "This is really what it's like come down to." And it was,
and people have gamer friend groups that they've played with since they were like 12.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have
longtime friends?
Yeah, Colin, I think you're one of them. Do you have friends that you've had?
So I only started playing on PC in like 2015, maybe 16-ish. And I have friends from that year that I still play with pretty regularly. So yeah, but not like since I was 12. I didn't really get online until like after high school, really.
Sam has a big convoluted friend group in video games.
Good work, Sam. Good work.
I started playing on PC like 2011 or 12, and yeah, most of my friend group like still keep up with one another playing online, and it's cool because now that we're older, some people have moved like across the country, and you can still keep up. And actually, a few of my friends have met other people through gaming, and then it was like a big reveal, like when they actually came to LA and visited, and it's like we've never met them in person, but then we met them in games, and we knew them super well because we'd always play with them. So.
Oh my god, you just reminded me. It all went well though, right? You're like in the meetings. Okay, that's pretty cool when done like that. I just reminded of a story, and the girls might know this, but my sister dated this guy real briefly, and well, not briefly, but this happened to him briefly. He got in one of those gamer groups, or like they like just talked a lot, or maybe it was also on chats or something. But basically, he had never met these people, and then they invited him out to the Pennsylvania mountains, or like whatever the mountain range is in the Pennsylvania. I can't remember the name right now, but literally like the Adirondacks. No, what is it? No, the not Appalachia. I don't think so. Or maybe it was. But anyway, very remote. Yeah. And so my sister's asking him questions like, okay, so like, when do you get in? And he's like, 1 a.m. And she's like, who's picking you up at like the airport? And he goes, oh, you know, Ash. And she's like, who's Ash? And he goes, I don't know his real name. I just know he's Ash. And he goes, oh, wait, correction. Ash isn't picking me up. Ash's brother is picking me up. And I was like, and she's like, who's Ash's brother? And he goes, I don't know. His just name is Ash's brother. Like, that's his tag name. And I was like, he's going to get kidnapped. He's a slender boy. He's getting kidnapped. And instead, it was just a bunch of guys meeting and going to Benihana's. So it was like the best case scenario.
That's it. That sounds like a good
mentality.
Yeah, DJ Ghostbang is picking you up from the airport. That would be me. Yeah, that's my tag.
David has a great story about camaraderie and when he was a child meeting one of his gamer friends. So
is that how you're gonna put it? I mean, you know, I've experienced both sides of the spectrum. I've met up with people that I've gamed with for like years that I've never met, and that were like, you know, really cool people. They lived in this area, and we got together.
Oh, wow.
We didn't go to Benihana's. It wasn't this fancy of a get together. You know, it was more of just grabbing ice cream. But then there was one time that was on the other end of the spectrum where, there was a period of time during my childhood when it was like nonstop. It was World of Warcraft. That was like my game, hours and hours and hours. Way too many hours into that game. And I met there was one of the guys that's part of the group that you're playing with, and we're playing whatever. We've been playing together for probably, I want to say, 5-6 months at this point. And somehow in conversation, it comes out that this guy actually lives like, there were no addresses shared, but like he's actually really close to me. He's like, oh yeah, I'm actually a manager at Pickup Sticks. And I was like, oh my God, I love pickup
This is little
sticks.
David.
This is little David, keep in mind. This is
Like,
not
how
old.
old?
The bigger version has learned.
Wait, how old were you?
I want to say that I was probably like, I don't know, like 13, 14, like younger.
The man with the candy. It's about the manager with the
Yeah. Let me tell you, because he's like, yeah, I'm a manager at Pickup Sticks. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know, we always, you know, my folks were always ordering from Pickup Sticks. And he's like, well, listen, if you want, I can hook you up. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you know, naive me. That's awesome. And so he's like, yeah, just call this Pickup Sticks and ask for Jeff or whatever his name was. And so I call like an idiot, and I ask for Jeff. And the guy's like, yeah, what do you want, man? Just tell me your order. And I gave it to him. And then he's like, you have to come pick it up. I'm like, but I was going to send my folks. He's like, no, you got to pick it up. You know, the end of the story, I didn't get what I had ordered, unfortunately. I wasn't willing to go. And, you know, in hindsight, he might have been, you know, interested in, you know, going for my wontons. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
But he also could have just been a workout.
He could have been a nice guy at Pickup Sticks. But you know what?
But no one will ever know.
You know what?
No.
Even the nice guy at Pickup Sticks should have the self-awareness not to invite a 14-year-old to come in.
Right. That understands. But, you know, I never got it, but that's okay.
Great point.
Wow.
David just wanted some Chinese food.
Well, I'm very
Really
happy
wanted to get
you
some
weren't
Chinese.
molested as a child, David.
Chicken fried rice was my go-to. I don't
Over
know.
Pickup Sticks.
That's it. Pickup Sticks. If you're listening, watch out for Jeff.
Yeah. Pickup Sticks, watch out. Jeff is there.
Inviting
He
14-year-olds.
might be a nice guy. We're just not sure.
Yeah, we don't know.
Sure, I'm
Oh my god.
Inconclusive. Also got like an online friend person story. This was back when I was living with you guys, actually. I was playing Overwatch and
Yep.
made a friend on Overwatch. And then we kept playing Overwatch together. And then we kept playing Overwatch together. And then 5 years later, we're still playing Overwatch together. And then, we like became friends. So, like when I met her online, she was single. Then she met a guy. Then she got married, moved to Oklahoma. Then she moved to Florida. Then she moved to Pennsylvania. Now she's living in Colorado. And we've just been like, just playing Overwatch together the whole time. She's got 2 kids now. She's like, I get Christmas cards from their family.
Stop.
Yeah.
Wait, you've never met in person?
They had a layover for their honeymoon in LA, so we went and got like Kraft hot dogs in LA for like 5 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's what.
Overwatch is where I met one of my best online buddies too.
Which one?
Wow.
Delta.
Oh, Delta Game Boy.
Delta.
What's the gamma?
Ash. Ash's brother.
Wait, why was his gamer tag Ash's brother though?
Oh, it was Ash's brother. He didn't have a name. It was just Ash's
Ash
brother.
was the gamer tag.
No, but she said that it was his gamer tag.
Ash's brother was his gamer tag?
That's what they called him. He didn't have a name. And I kept
he was
saying
just-
his name was Spike or something because there was another guy in there that was named like Snake. And they were all getting together because Ash's girlfriend broke up with him. I don't know why.
Was her gamer tag Ash's girlfriend?
Ash sounds like the center of the universe, dude.
Just like Ash's mom, Ash's cousin.
Ash's mom.
Some guy Ash has never met.
Yeah. That's what he was.
That's me.
I was looking up all sorts of gaming stuff, especially for females in gaming, because that is
Talking
a
about
topic.
the way females are depicted in gaming, or the actual females in the industry of gaming.
More like females in the industry, because right now we're seeing the shift of females portrayal, like for sure, like that's been ongoing. They're switching from like the Laura Croft of yesteryear to like the new one with somewhat clothes that are made for the occasion, but mostly
Horizon's
about
a good one.
women.
Would be an example for that one.
Which
Like,
one?
Characters. Horizon. It's the one with the robot dinosaurs and like you got to shoot them with arrows. I don't know. It's a female protagonist in that one, and it's good.
I heard about. So okay, yeah. So there's more female protagonists is another thing that they've listed and stuff like that. So all good things, except it's just that what they realized, and I have some statistics for you that I thought were super interesting. So females, because I play games, and then I did briefly work in like the mobile gaming industry for like 4 months. But in those 4 months, I had to learn a bunch of stuff, and that was when the riot, or was it?
Right?
What?
Is that back when we were in university together? I think I remember that.
You know, it was. I mean, we still lived together.
Was
It
that Tony Hawk?
It was Tony Hawk. Yeah.
That was Tony
And
Hawk.
it was when that what was it? Who does League of Legends? Is it Riot? When
Yeah.
Riot had the walkout. So we were all there when Riot had the walkout, and we were
Right.
like, they were talking about females in the gaming industry and all that, and we were like, oh shit, like that's horrible. But and then everything I did at USC was about females in the gaming industry because I was just
I have
like,
a friend whose husband works in gaming video games, and she said when like they very first started dating, she went to like visit him at work, and his computer was just like mostly naked women, and she's like, this is inappropriate, you can't do this. And he's like, it's what we do here, this is but she's like, no, this is your work. And then the same guy, he's very nice, but he's like just a little aloof. And he's like in his 30s now and has like a fresh grad, like 22-year-old, and he's very like inclusive and like, let's do things. And she like mentioned she likes dancing, and he's like, oh, like we should go out dancing. And she's like, no, you can't invite this 22-year-old to go dancing.
there's no way. Predatory behavior. Oh my
Maybe he's a
God.
nice guy.
He's a nice
We
guy.
don't know. Inconclusive.
Is his name Jeff? Does he work at Pickup Six?
Don't you say his name.
Tatiana, you brought up that like Riot Games walkout, but that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Since talking women into the industry, I think a more recent example, I think, was it, I can't remember if it was before Activision Blizzard had the merger, but they had that huge walkout due to sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. It was like all like the upper management and stuff like that. It's
Yes.
just a little more recent and relevant, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I think they did that at what was like the big Blizzard festival, right? You're talking about like BlizzCon or whatever when they were doing that too.
Yeah,
They did it
I went
there?
all the way to the very top. The CEO, Bobby Kotick, I think was his name, if I remember from.
Jeff Kaplan is another one.
Oh, Jeff Kaplan, and then they had to change the characters' names. Some of the characters' names from Overwatch because they
McCree had to stop being
McCree became Cassidy now. What is his name now? Yeah,
It's called Cowboy.
It's Cowboy. It's Cowboy.
His name is Cowboy.
Wait, why did they change their names?
Because
the character was named after one of the employees, and one of the employees was not a good dude.
No, he was talking about bringing women up to the Swede. I'm inviting all these women, and the texts got leaked, of course, and there was massive outrage around the way that he was kind of behaving. And so, to save face, the company was like, we're going to disbar any associations with him and change the character's name and try to
9 years in or something.
And they've been fighting that kind of battle. Blizzard especially has been fighting that battle for a while now, trying to kind of rebrand themselves because it was just issue after issue that was coming up around having equal respect and treating women the way that they deserve to be treated. And so now they've just been making a lot of strides to try to improve, but obviously there was a lot of bad stuff going on that needed to kind of be pulled. They needed to kind of clean out.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Because what they're finding, so the new research shows that 30% of all the workers in the game industry are female. So that's higher than their numbers in like 2014. So they've been like increasing, and that studios are also now seeing that their gaming audience has turned female, which means that they will start making games geared towards females, which is a long time never a thing because we're all making like shooting, action, adventure, like stuff males typically would want to play. Racing is another one. And I want you to guess. Okay, so they have 40%, so 44% of audience now who play games are women. And this is broad. This isn't just like consoles or like PCs and stuff. It's like all of it. Can you guess what the two game genres are that women play most? And if you get close, I'll tell you. And I just want to say it's really, one of them really took me by surprise, but it was like, it made sense.
One of them's gotta be whatever Sims 3 is part of, whatever that genre is called.
Tem got slightly one of them. That was basically it, simulation. But to put it even closer, it's family. And here's the part that surprised me: farm simulation. Girls love farms.
I want to live on a farm.
They're all horse girls. I knew it.
Oh, too many horse girls out there.
Girls love farms. So yeah, family and farm simulation is one, and under that category, I really liked how they said it. It's atmospheric exploration is the term for it, and I completely agree. Now the other genre This one's funny too. This one reminded me of Sarah. It's they call it a match 3, but basically it's the casual puzzler category.
I love puzzles.
See, yeah.
Get the excitement, guys.
And casual, and it's casual. So those are the two genres that make up, what is it? 70% of the people who play those two are women. So it's like,
do apps count as video games?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this
like
app that I
mobile.
play where like you pour liquids until all of the liquids are in one tube. It's like a puzzle. I really like that one.
Casual puzzle.
Sounds like your job.
What are the ones I get mobile ads for all the time?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, those are the ones where they're like, put all the rings on like the same.
That's probably how I got.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like therapeutic to like your mind. I always get ads for those. It's like, are you?
I also played one where you would water your plants every day, and then your plants would grow bigger, and then you could buy more plants, and then.
You played all the
A real life simulator, then, is what it sounds like.
Atmospheric exploration.
This
I
all
think.
reminds me of, do you remember that Facebook game that was Farmville? Is it Farmville?
Oh,
that was like
yes.
that Facebook game we'd all play.
Farmville was
I've never played a
amazing.
second of Farmville.
You
and
have?
then
Oh my
people
god.
are still like playing Candy Crush, right? That's
You
what
just said Candy
Yes.
Crush.
They said Candy Crush is a big genre for women also.
Has to be.
I was like,
Ending.
I was like, that's so funny.
And all those like word games, like the Scrabble games, Words with Friends or whatever is like a huge one.
Oh yeah.
My
Oh,
mom
I liked
played.
that one where like you would draw pictures and then send it to people.
Draw something?
Yeah.
Is it called Draw Something? I think it's called
Like
Draw
if you
Something.
had to guess what picture.
I
you
remember that one.
Yeah. Oh my god, I remember doing all those games in high school when they were fun and cool.
Yeah.
You would just send in between
They're
periods.
not cool anymore, Tatiana.
I'm sorry.
I'm still. What are you saying?
I'm so sorry. Those are very cool games. They're utmost cool. You should download them now.
I love
And
how
then-
you're like in high school when those games are cool, but you're like talking about them as if you were like in high school now, and you're like, they're not cool anymore. Like that's what a high schooler
I'm
would
senior
say.
now. They're so not cool.
I don't think the high schoolers are
They're
playing.
not in anymore.
No, I don't think high schools are playing those games
They're all
at
playing
all, as
Fortnite.
much. I don't have an high schooler to ask, but I don't know
I
any.
think they're playing TikTok and.
They're playing the TikTok. Is that what
playing
They're
we're
playing
doing
the
now?
TikTok.
Oh man.
The
And I know
TikTok
one
is
step
game
away
is
from calling it
TikTok.
a console and
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Oh my gosh. And then it says that males are more likely to play, shocker, first person shooting, tactical shooting, and racing, which I really like racing. So
Me
I
too.
don't
It's the
But-
only genre I don't like. I don't
really.
Austin
don't-
is a racer.
like. Austin likes racing games.
He
Well, he
does
has a whole steering wheel and like gas pedal setup.
Oh
It's
man.
Flash.
Wheel for Call
What
of
does
Duty.
the gas pedal do? What does that do? Is that just for
You
fun?
live it.
Go.
Yeah, you
You
have to
live it.
It goes
go.
into the computer and you use it. It's like a car simulation.
Yeah, no. People take it
Women
to
like
a whole other
farms,
level.
men like car simulations. I get it. It all makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They have truck simulation too. They
Oh my
Stop.
god, those
Like,
truck, like
long
the
road
hard
trucker?
truck simulator
Yes.
guys?
It's
Yes.
called Euro Truck Simulator, and there's like 46.
Sounds nuts.
That's like extra compensation. It's not like a large truck, like it's a large truck simulator. Like that's no.
Well, you should see the paneling if you do the
That
whole
sounds
thing. These guys have like the whole
It's literally for
console in front of them. Yeah, man.
Truck.
They got their big.
You
Golf
guys, I think we should
711.
just get a streaming channel where we just make a. I want to play the long road trucking game right now.
Yeah.
Is it like Ice Road Truckers? Is it like, do you die? Do you have
I'm
lives?
sure there's an ice road truck.
I'm sure there's an
I'm sure you
expansion
have
for that.
lives.
There's an expansion for that. Come on now.
It'll just be like streaming. They're like, what do you stream? I'm like, trucking. Just full
But
on
is it
trucking.
like a package? Like, are you delivering something cool? Do you know?
I'm
No.
sure.
Like
I don't-
a Ferrari? Are you like delivering a Ferrari to some like rich asshole?
Yeah, you get to your destination and it's like empty. There's nothing even in it. You're
didn't
doing it
load
for the thrill of it, Cheryl.
You forgot to load it. That was the whole
Not the
thing. You
journey,
like
not the
didn't die. You
destiny.
like made it.
Yeah,
You're like,
back.
you didn't bring us anything.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, so then to end the females conversation, there's also females who have their own studios. Like I forgot, it starts with an S. There's one who heads her own studio, but one of my other favorites is her name is Jen. Is it Henning? Amy Henning, and she did Uncharted. She wrote all the Uncharteds.
Never
So
played any
Wow.
either.
you've never played the Uncharted
I
game?
haven't owned a
Has
PlayStation
anyone?
since the PlayStation 3, so I haven't played any of the PlayStation exclusives. So that's
Okay,
like-
so For all those who, so Uncharted is basically what they wanted Nicolas Cage to be in the National Treasure movies. Like that was the goal, was to do
It's
that.
pretty much Tomb Raider, but with a guy.
Yeah, Tomb Raider, but with a man, and he's wearing all his clothes.
No.
Actually, too many clothes.
Well,
I don't know how he can scale up those buildings wearing like cargo pants. But oh my gosh. So yeah, so they had those women who are doing all that, and I was like, that's pretty exciting. And then it leads me because they made Uncharted a movie. So now here I am at movie, like video
Tom
games
Holland.
turning into TV shows and movies. Ben, have you seen The Last of Us?
Yes, I've seen all of it. But I haven't played the game.
Oh, come on. You got to play the game. I cried during the first one.
I asked you, David, I said, did you cry during a video game?
The end of the first one had me in tears.
Look, I feel like everyone I've talked to who's played that game cried playing that game.
I did not cry, but I mean,
well,
I don't cry.
You also
though.
didn't cry at my wedding, so I don't think you
I
can.
also didn't cry at your wedding, so.
Derailed.
I'm so sorry.
I think the most emotional I've ever gotten was the scene at the end of Red Dead Redemption where they shoot John Marston.
Oh.
Spoilers.
Yeah, how dare you?
That game came out 10 years ago. You've had your
Is
chance.
he the main character? What?
Yeah, he's the main character. And then there's an epilogue where he plays the son. You get to duel the dirty FBI agent.
Then
but
who's
he
in
doesn't
Red
bring
Dead
his father
Redemption
back.
2?
Classic Western.
It's a prequel.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the prequel to Red Dead Redemption.
I just found out, like maybe a few days ago, well, it didn't click in my head, that Red Dead Redemption and what's the one with the cars?
Grand Theft Auto. It's literally they have their Wild West. It's Grand Theft Auto with horses or Grand Theft Auto with cars.
Same thing. Yeah, they're the same company. They did both, and I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what Red Dead is just Grand Theft Auto but with ponies. I mean, if you haven't seen The Last of Us, it's like basically another zombie apocalypse story, but this time the zombies are bacterial infected.
Fungus.
Sorry, fungus. They're fungus infected people. And what's the word, Sarah? It looks like Cyclops, but it's not. What is the word?
Cordyceps.
I knew Sarah would know.
Sarah knows the details.
I liked The Last of Us. It also brings me to this other video thing that I don't understand. Tom was like, oh, we can watch the gameplay, and people just watch YouTube videos of other people playing games, and I don't understand that.
We should show yours.
What do you mean? No. We don't have time on the show today to show my channel with my 300 subscribers. Not to brag.
Oh, damn. What's your handle?
Don't
worry about that. You don't need to know. You don't need to pull that up. That was a big deal. I got a $250 donation one time. My friends loved me.
Was it Anna?
No, this was from before Anna, but she likes to go back and look at the videos of me with about 20 more pounds on me and glasses. It's a whole different David. So okay, Anna.
That is
Whatever
so
you
true.
say. But someone
That is
needs
so true.
to...
People watch.
Go ahead.
People watch all those gameplay videos, and it's even like my little cousin, and it spans ages because my little cousin will watch people play Minecraft, and I was like, I mean. I only watch video games if I'm stuck on something, and I'm like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
It's the same as watching sports. You could make the same argument. Like, we're watching basketball. How about you get up off your ass and go play basketball if you like it so much? Like, I don't know. It's the same thing. Like, I want to see somebody be really good at it or, be creative in a way that I can't. I don't
Okay.
play video games. But I can understand why someone might.
Colin
David
watches them
doesn't
all the
watch
time.
people, he just does it and then people watch him.
Right. That's
Wow.
David is getting off his ass and playing it.
I do. I
And
put in the
healing
work.
himself.
Professional player.
I'm a gamer. I'm an e-gamer. Thank you very much.
Oh god, don't say that.
That's what I am. But I think Sarah needs to convince you to go watch The Last of Us because you're too scared. You
What?
said
No, it's too
they've got the cordyceps on their head.
It's not scary.
Anxiety. It was really good though.
It's not scary,
I
Anna.
enjoyed it.
Anna.
It's so scary. Don't let them tell you it's not scary.
Oh.
You guys, this is real life. This could happen.
The cordyceps?
Especially that part.
They're not real zombies.
Exactly. And the scariest episode doesn't even involve zombies. It's the second to last one. I won't spoil it because Anna, maybe you should watch it. But like, it was about like a crazy old man kidnapping a girl, and that can happen in real life.
That was actually really scary.
I
You're
will
right.
say I played the game, and when that part happened, that part was like a cult, and that did freak me out. Only because I was like, she's a
It's more
12-year-old. Like I think she was 12 in the game or 13.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
a 12-year-old being kidnapped by like a rogue cult leader, a religious cult icon thing. Like that's creepy. So that is creepy, but not for the way you think it is. Not because of like supernatural
Not in the,
things.
like zombie jump out and scary.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. Although
Oh,
that
yeah,
does
totally
happen.
forgot about that, Sarah. That's so true.
That
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
scary.
And okay, so then I found out other games and stuff that people want to do. And another thing, so you said scary, and it makes me think of my favorite person who does scary things, which is Guillermo del Toro, and how they all want Guillermo to take the game. Is it, okay, Colin, this is where I might need your help. Is it Bioshock?
Sure.
Yes.
And they want
Bioshock's
him to
great.
do a Bioshock TV show / or movie.
That'd be really fun. Yeah.
I would watch that. Are there a lot of monsters in it?
There are.
And so Guillermo also, we'll give I'll do a summary real quick, but Guillermo also has his tie in video games before, and this like he's not. What was the game he was in where his full body was literally in it? What was that one? Does anyone know?
I don't know if I know.
I think that was I think that might have been Death Stranding. I think that.
I think it was. Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So it literally his full body, like his voice, like he voiced it, and his likeness was in it, and. This leads me to another topic of internet lore, of like video game lore. He made this video game playthrough, like he helped with a different game person from Japan, who I can't think of the name now, but it was a horror themed, and it was basically you walk around this house or like this flat and click on things, do that. It was for PC, I think it was. Oh no, it was an Xbox or something.
The VR one?
No, I don't think it was VR. Was it VR?
It wasn't the PlayStation horror game.
Because there was a haunted house VR one that was like a Resident Evil before.
So it wasn't Resident Evil, but yes, that is.
I remember that one because they showed that one, that the monster is literally behind you the entire time. You turn.
Yeah, and so that one is also on my list of like scary lore stuff. But yeah, so Guillermo had this game and people loved it. They said it was the scariest thing they've ever seen, but then they went on to not make it. But it's still, if you downloaded it on the store of like the Xbox store or whatever, you'll have it. So people literally sell the consoles they have with the game on it on eBay to like for hundreds and thousands of dollars, because this was the only part of it. I need to find out what the game was called, but the walkthroughs are eerie if you see some of them, because some people have little stills that they took, but we had to recreate it. But I was like, damn.
My tongue. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you. I can't remember the name of the other gamer, like the company, like the guy in Japan. I think he's Japan. That
it wasn't. I think the game you're talking about is PT, and it was Kojima. It was the guy, like the big
Kojima. Yes, thank you.
And it was like kind of Silent Hill-esque, if I remember the demo.
Yes.
The demo was the thing that everybody was talking about, right? That there was that demo, and there was like this crazy, like old, like it was like an old lady in a white cloak, and she'd follow you around. It was a horrible experience. I watched the videos. I never got to play it, but I remember like there was a lot of craze about the demo, and then it never becoming a full game. But then there was that whole thing with Kojima, I think, and he like stopped for a period of time. He wasn't doing as many games, and that might have been why it didn't come out. But yeah,
he had a big fallout with somebody who was working for.
He had a fallout with what do you call it? The Konami, exactly. The Metal Gear Solids. That's right.
Okay, thank you, David. You filled in all the pieces. It was called PT, and it was off of the Silent Hill. I found the article. Yeah, so that's exactly what it was. And then he did have the falling out, so it never got released. And so now people just remember it, and that's why they'll sell their consoles online. And I was like, I wish I was gaming at that time, because that's what I would want to do, because it's horror. I just want to play all the horror games. And I want them to make more. Colin, can you tell us what Bioshock is? Do you know?
Yeah, Bioshock is a game series. There's 3 of them currently, I think. The first 2 take place in one kind of world, and then the third one is kind of a different thing. So you're kind of exploring this, it's kind of retro futuristic
Art Deco
like underwater city, and it's all gone to shit, and you're just trying to figure out what happened and escape.
So people have been clamoring that they want Bioshock and him to do that because he has a vision. And it just would mesh well, right? So you have a director and you have
it's a really fun concept to play with. It was a nice story-driven, fairly linear story.
I always liked the meta themes in Bioshock. Like, it's always like it makes you think about video games because like the reveal at the end is that like you're only doing stuff because the game is telling you to do stuff, and that's like the whole point at the end.
Ooh.
That like as like when you play it, like the character in the game is like a slave to the game, and it's I don't like you can play it just as a normal game, but they kind of have like this cool like higher level meta commentary that I think adds a lot of depth to Bioshock that I really appreciated. I never played the second one, only the first and the third, but you don't need it.
The second one you play as like one of the monsters pretty much, which everyone was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know, but I never played it.
That's pretty cool. I need to add that to my list. So when you have the two things like the director and the storyline and it just fits together. One that I found in my search, they haven't made it a movie yet, but they found the director or the creator, and then they found the concept, and they want to merge them. Is they're making a movie of the one called Ghosts of Tsushima?
I didn't play that one.
And they're using the guy who made John Wick. So they're bridging them together, and I was like, that actually.
If they can do like that kind of storyline from Ghost of Tsushima, that kind of like interest and depth, and then like saying that kind of like fight choreography that comes with like John Wick, that could be a super sharp movie.
Yeah.
A question for people here. There's like Colin's always looking for like new video games, or he's always like, this game is gonna drop next week or something. Are there like any that you're really excited about, Ben, that are coming out?
That are releasing soon?
Yeah.
I haven't actually.
Good question, Cheryl.
I'm not paying attention to the future. I can recommend one I played in the past for you if you want, that you
I'll
may or may
take it.
not have played. Have you played? Are you a fan of horror games at all? It's a scary one.
No, I am.
It's called Soma, S-O-M-A. Have you played that one?
No. What
Okay,
is that
so
about?
it's abbreviated. It's like S.O.M.A. So it's like a horror style kind of walking simulator, the same way like Amnesia is. Like you don't really get to fight back against the monsters. You kind of just get to run away.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a science fiction style kind of version of that, and I really like the story and like the science fiction elements it goes through. So like the premise is like you're just like some dude like today, and they have this new like brain scanning technology, and you're just like it's like a trial. They pay you like $200. You scan your brain, you go home, live your life. It's fine. So you follow him. He sits down, and then like it scans the brain. All of a sudden, he's like in some other room. So it turns out like fucking 400 years in the future, this like old legacy version of the brain scan was like uploaded into like some random robot body in the middle of an apocalypse, and now you have to like it also has this cool like transhuman aspect to it. It's like, where does this person start being a human? Where does he stop being a human? And it really zeroes in on like the horror aspect. That question in a lot of ways that I really like. That kind of, I mean, like I want to say more because I can talk about this one for a long time, but I don't want to spoil it for you because there are some really cool. There's a really cool scene where it kind of gives you a choice, and if you're like able to kind of like conceptualize all these ideas by the time you're like at that spot in the game, it can be like a kind of like a metaphysically terrifying choice to make.
Oh God, does the game come with different endings based on what you do?
No, there's only one ending. Okay. And depending on your perspective, it's either hopeful or horrific.
That sounds really good, actually. That's a good
it
one.
Also, similar to Bioshock, takes place at the bottom of the ocean.
Wow.
Wow. Why is that such a normal setting?
Scary place.
Well, yeah, it's a scary place.
It is, though.
It's dark and cold. There's stuff down there.
Yeah, David said that
down there.
Oh, did David play it?
He said that was on his list because it was like similar to Bioshock, but he talks about this thing where he's really, because he doesn't like the ocean at night, but that's why it makes it such a great like horror thing for him, because he loves horror.
You should play Subnautica.
What should he play?
You should play Subnautica.
Subnautica. Okay.
So it's like a crafting adventure survival game in the same way that like Minecraft is, but the whole thing, you like are crash land on this alien ocean planet, and you basically have to like survive, and you like start off in like this shallow reef, but eventually you got to like go in the ocean to like find stuff, and that it can get scary.
I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, he'll
He probably knows about that one already. He might have even played it.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
There are fish down there that are bigger than you, and it's dark, but you got to go down there.
Oh my God. I know Anna's playing Sackboy because I sent her Sackboy.
I do. That is a game that I will play and I enjoy it. It's really fun because I can like punch on your other sack.
They slap people. You just slap your friends left and right because it's a multiplayer game.
But you work together. Yeah, it's very fun.
But you work together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for someone who doesn't game, that's a great game.
I am waiting for Spider-Man 2 to come out. I think it's this year. It's sometime this year.
I think it releases on PlayStation first, and then they'll probably eventually release it on PC.
So I'm ready. I'm so ready because the first Spider-Man game was so much fun. For someone who doesn't, if you don't play video games, I got my sister to play it because she was doing her chiropractic school stuff and so stressful. So she's on spring break, and I was like, Tona, here, take Spider-Man like 1 and just play it. Like, just see what happened. She finished the whole game in like 4 days, which is a very long game. It's not a short game. And there's little side quests and stuff, but it's just like the controls are so intuitive for like fighting and stuff, and you're just like exploring. So you're just as Spider-Man. It's something that is, you know.
You should check out the Batman games too.
That's on my list. And then the one that I play a lot to unwind, my puzzle game to play when I unwind, is I make my sisters in the Bay Area play Overcooked with me because I like to feel stress. I just love anxiety and and working in a kitchen. So I just love being yelled at apparently. Yeah. So we'll just play.
2, right?
Overcooked 2 because the first one, if you get the Overcooked bundle, you can play online. But if you get the first one, I don't think they let you play online with people. I think it's only like if they're there.
Couch co-op only.
Yeah. So if you buy like the full bundle pack, and then you can play as like the little characters, and my sister plays as a wheelchair raccoon, and the other one's an axolotl. It's just very inclusive. It's wonderful.
So is this raccoon in the wheelchair because he's like paraplegic? Or
yeah, he's a paraplegic.
He just found the wheelchair and he doesn't want to walk.
Honestly, we don't know his back.
Option 2 sounds more like it.
We don't know his backstory, Ben. So if anyone wants to take Overcooked 2 and make it a TV show,
back to walk, like so many questions.
So if he just found the wheelchair and is faking an injury.
Speaking of anxiety and stress-inducing video games, Escape from Tarkov.
I've never had a game make me feel the things that game has made me feel.
Can you explain it?
Escape from Tarkov is a subgenre of shooters called an extraction shooter, and the premise is you know, you have your inventory and you take that into like an area that other people are playing in. It's called a raid each instance. So you have to gear up. You take your own gear that you buy with your in-game money, and you take that into the raid with you. And the goal is to go into that raid and find, you know, loot and stuff and get out. So you have to go in, and you have to go out in a certain place. And if you get shot and you die. You go back out to the main menu. All the stuff you brought in with you is gone, and the person who shot you, you'll never see them again. So like the stakes are like, it's different than like Call of Duty where like, oh damn, I just got my head blown off, boop, I'm back in, and I'm just like right back in the game. Like the stakes are real. And you know, sometimes you get in there and you have stuff that's very valuable, or you accidentally take in your entire life savings on accident with you into the raid, and now you have to get out. So, you know, it can lead to some pretty stressful situations where you care a lot more, and you know, there's footsteps on the floor above you, and you're hiding under a desk in the floor below, and they're coming closer. Oh no, now they're on my floor. And so you're sitting there with your gun just like shaking.
Your person's shaking too.
Yeah, so I don't know. It gets like the highs are really high. When you succeed and win at that game, you did it, and it's really really fun. And sometimes, you know, you go in and you just lose everything, and it's devastating.
The VoIP it's called, but you can talk to each other. So if you hear someone's footsteps,
only if you're close enough though.
Hey, yeah, you have to be within range for them to hear you, but you can talk to each other. They're like, hey, leave me alone. Or
beg for your life.
Something, or
no way.
Yeah, all the different situations you can run into that game. It's like every game is going to be pretty different than the last one, because you never know. Like the human factor is really significant.
Sarah, what's the mobile game you've been playing?
I actually don't play mobile games because I don't have enough storage on my phone. I delete them all.
I feel that.
No.
I guess just like Wordle, but that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
It does.
That's
You even have like Sudoku on your phone? I have Sudoku on my phone.
I have Sudoku.
I play
I
Sudoku.
never got into Sudoku. I was big into like the Oregon Trail and like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Zoo Tycoon.
Oh,
played-
Zoo Tycoon.
I loved Zoo Tycoon. I spent so much time like crafting like the perfect environments. And then another thing I would also do is I would go into a blank map, not let the guests in, and then just like create like an actual like African savanna and then just let all the animals loose and see what happens. Like, do the tigers hunt the elephants? Who knows? Let's see.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, they totally, and that's the fun part. In the first one, the little lions will grab the guests and flip them in the air and stuff and like attack
That's
people.
another situation where people watch other people play video games when you don't have the time to build a whole ass zoo and you just want to see what it's like. Or if like there's this one guy who does just silly, he just tries to break the game pretty much via whatever.
That's
and
let's
so he'll
find it
just
out on YouTube, I
make
think,
death
right?
pits where all of the customers have to walk into the lion's pit to get out, and they'll just be by lions the whole time. Yeah.
I loved trying each new animal, and I would put a person in it. Like if I had the one where it was the zoo, the aquarium, and the dinosaurs. So it was all three of them. And then I would put them in the little like orca thing, and the orcas would flip them in the air and like use them, and they would just go stuck at the bottom, and the sharks would take them down. The T-Rexes would hang. Oh, I loved Zoo Tycoon.
I liked in Roller Coaster Tycoon creating roller coasters that don't have an end, so the carts just fly off and explode.
And then you could ride it, right?
Well,
Oh,
yeah, you can go first person and then you can experience it for yourself too.
Oh,
Wow.
Man, that's peak gaming right there. And they haven't even replicated that. And if they have, it hasn't been to the same excitement as those originals. So that's what we need to. This is just a big petition to get Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon back.
Roller Coaster Tycoon's still popular. I think it's Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 was the big one. That one. Like,
All right, I'll have to go find
they
it.
like have mobile versions of that. Hey, that's a mobile game you can play, Sarah. You can play that one on your phone.
Where I could just
It's like
making little things.
$6 on the App Store or something like that, or $9. It's reasonable.
That's a lot. I don't think
I
I've ever
don't pay anything for any of my stuff.
Don't buy apps.
What are you
It's
talking
not,
about?
it's not like an app. It's like a whole game.
Do we think playing chess online counts as video games?
It still counts as a board game, in my opinion.
It's a video, right? It's on a screen, right?
Yeah.
It is a
And
video.
with, like,
board
an
game
online player.
digitally.
The
but
puzzle
it's
game.
not a
Yeah, I
good-
think if we count
Yeah. There's no narrative.
If
But-
you're playing like
But
with
casual
someone,
puzzles.
if you're playing against someone you know, like I feel like it's a regular game. But if you're playing against like a computer system, like I feel like it's a video game, because then it's like then you bring in the computer.
What if I'm playing against someone I don't know?
As long as it's a human behind.
Do you play chess online a lot?
Yeah, he
I do.
does all the time.
The whole chess scene there's like a whole section of Twitch that is just chess streamers, which is there's some
Oh my
personalities on there, and like all the world champions all have like their own like channels right now, so it's like very like
they make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah, it's very pop culture chess right now. If anyone likes
Thank you. I did not know
If
that.
you really want to get into the nitty and the gritty of the modern chess scene, that's where you go. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow, thanks guys. We have talked so much, and we could even keep going, but we need to kick you out, Ben, because it is definitely past 9 o'clock. So yeah.
It's past 9 when we started.
Anna's like,
All right.
Anna's like, I gotta go see Sackboy.
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta go play some Sackboy.
All right. I'm gonna go to the Grand Prix. See you guys.
Oh my
Have
gosh.
fun.
All right. Bye.
Watch the super trucks.
A Gaviota Media House production.